Hi again, this is Kevin Zuccaro from Fluid Audio. I'm here at Kim Lang Audio in Thailand, in Bangkok. I wanted to talk a little bit about our FX Series V2. Of course, this is a very mature product by now. This has been in the market about 5 or 6 years. We released it first as the V1 in, I think, 2019. And that came about, let me go back in time to how the coax design came about. So we had our F4 and F5, and we wanted to do an 8-inch speaker. And of course, 8-inch conventional speakers with the woofer and the tweeter on top can get to be very, very tall and cumbersome and heavy and tough to negotiate in a studio. And many people end up even putting them on their sides, which is a little bit not so great acoustically. So I thought the way to get around that was to make a coaxial speaker, whatever you want to call it, coax, point source, coincident, they're all kind of the same thing. Although I decided to do the execution a little bit differently. Most coaxes, of course, have the high frequency device inside of the voice coil or inside of the pole piece, and then it emanates out from there and uses the cone as the waveguide. The problem with that is that, of course, the cone is moving as the high frequency is trying to transmit off of the cone, so it creates a lot of distortion and a lot of unwanted artifacts, which don't sound so great, especially at high power. So that's why I decided to do it this way, which is more of a conventional kind of coax you'd see in a car or something like that. But it has the waveguide built right onto the front of it, onto the pole piece. So this guy isn't going anywhere. It's stationary and it's solid. And so high frequency can transmit right off of that waveguide and out into space. There are drawbacks to that too. There's a trade-off in every engineering endeavor, but we really like the way this sounds because it creates great imaging. It doesn't mess with the phase. Off axis, it's very consistent. That's kind of the history behind the fluid coax, as we want to call it. So after the FX8 was in the market, I guess maybe 4 or 5 years, we decided to upgrade it to have Class D amplification and DSP. So that's when the FX series was born, and we decided to do something very cool with the plastic faceplate and everything that looks sculpted and cool. And so that was the V1 that was launched in 2019. I'll get to the back panel stuff in a minute, but the new version of the FX series is called the V2. Unimaginative, I know, but V2 is what we decided to call it. And after being in the market for 5 or 6 years, we had a lot of feedback on the sound quality, on the frequency response, and how people mix with it, and et cetera, et cetera. So we had all of that backlog of information to make the changes for V2. The biggest change for V2 is the frequency response, because we heard that it was a little bit hyped on the low end, and et cetera, et cetera. So we made some changes. It's a lot more flat frequency response for mixing, and it's just a better sounding speaker. The other change, which isn't as significant, but we made the rear panel graphics a lot bigger and a lot clearer to understand. So one of the features is the dip switches. So you can change these dip switches to change the contour of the sound. We call them boundary correction switches. So if you have the speaker close to the back wall and you want to get rid of some of that accumulated bass, you can do that with the dip switches. There's also just a low frequency roll off. There's mid trim and high trim. So that's what those boundary effect dip switches do. Inputs, XLR, balanced XLR and TRS, and unbalanced RCA, which makes it easy for consumer stuff, and etc. Of course, the volume control. This is, of course, the FX50V2. After the success of the FX8 and then the 80, we decided to do the baby version, and this guy came last, although it probably sells better than all of them. So this is FX50V2. The other cool thing about this, it's application for Atmos. So many people want a lightweight, great sounding, loud speaker for Atmos, and not many speakers out there, monitors, make it easy for you to mount them. And we decided to put two mounting screws on the back panel on the amp here. They're covered with these plugs if you're not using them. But these will allow you to mount an LD Systems, I believe it's called the WMD10, and it'll allow you to mount it on the ceiling, on the wall, or however you're going to mount it for Atmos. And it makes it very easy. Everything I've mentioned on this FX50V2 is the same on the bigger brother, except this is a bigger driver. And this is, I mentioned, 20 millimeter silk dome tweeter. This is a 1.2, I believe, slightly bigger, a little bit lower crossover, 8-inch driver, more power. This is 110 watts, this is 90 watts. But all of the same functionality and the great sound of the FX series from us, from Fluid Audio. So we're very proud of this product because it's allowed us to be noticed in the speaker world because of the coax is so unique looking. And not only that, it sounds really great as well. So the coax series, if it does have any drawbacks, the only drawbacks that it is that since the tweeter is not higher, the tweeter is in the middle of the woofer, it's better if you get the speaker higher to ear level. In your studio, you want to have the tweeter to be ear level, so you get all the high frequency, of course, is much beamier than low frequency, so you want to get it up closer to your ear. And the best way to do that is to get it on stands. And the way we do it is we have our own stands that I designed called the DS5 and the DS8. DS8, of course, is for 8-inch, 7 and 8-inch speakers, and the DS5 is for 5-inch, 4 and 5-inch speakers. It not only gets it off of the surface it's sitting on, but also there's some hydrometer rubber feet which acoustically isolates the speaker from the table or for whatever it's sitting on. So it doesn't transmit all of the bass down into whatever it's sitting on. It allows it to push all the bass towards the listener. You build these yourself. They come in a small box, and all of these parts are quite easy to assemble. There's directions inside, and then these go on with self-stick adhesive. And they're a great accessory for not only the FX series or the C series, but any speaker that you're using. So yeah, so this is the DS5 and 8 from Fluid Audio. If you want to listen to these, please come to Kim Lang Audio, and I'm sure they can be happy to give you a demo and you can check them out for yourself. Thank you for listening. This is Kevin Zuccaro from Fluid Audio. Bye for now.